Ocala.
Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Ocala, baby, what makes you look so good? Why don't you love me like I know you could?
5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Kelli Hart is in the studio from Ocala Magazine. This is Ocala Magazine Radio. We're going to learn about things in Ocala, things in Ocala Magazine, and Kelli Hart. Good morning, Kelli.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm glad to be back in the studio today.
Yeah.
Calling in last week was interesting.
Oh, you didn't like that, did you?
No.
It didn't sound like you liked it. You sounded like you were like, hate this.
No, I didn't hate it. I mean,
You
I didn't hate it.
Were you
It
in the
was-
passenger seat at the time?
I was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting. I couldn't interact with you.
You
or
couldn't
see
be. You couldn't be like on.
Right.
You had to be there.
Right.
Okay.
So it was interesting for sure. So we'll try not
So
to
how
do
was your
that often.
trip? How was the Grand Prix?
Oh, it was great. It was really
Did
fun.
you really like it?
No, I really did like it.
Okay.
I really did like it. In fact, on Sunday, because the big race was on Sunday, and we didn't go back, so I was able to watch it from home, which I would have never done. I would have never thought to watch that at home had I not have been there and seen it in person and familiarized myself with it. But it's really interesting how, first of all, that's such a great little spot, in St. Pete. There's so many shops and I don't know. I mean, it's just there's a lot of synergy going on there, and then they shut the streets down. And for a Friday, when people would typically be at work, I was pleasantly surprised at how many people were out.
How does this work? I
there.
mean, the cars are racing on
They're
streets
racing on streets
that are
yes,
normally driven on by you and me.
by regular.
So how do they avoid running into doors and buildings and things?
Well, I don't know exactly who's in charge
Are
of
there
mapping it out,
haystacks
but
and
I
things?
think that it's someone who's really pretty smart, because the way that they start out, all of the pit crew and everything is over. There's an airport there, and so there's a long piece of runway, and there's a lot of space to provide them the space to take off, the space to stop, and then to come in and for their pit crew. And then when they take the corner, then they're on regular streets. Of course, everything is shut down and barricaded. And when I say barricaded, I don't mean just Bob's barricades or something. I
Right.
mean there was concrete.
Okay, so it's hard to crash through them.
Concrete walls
Okay.
with the fencing, and it was actually doubled. So if they
So
hit
where
one, there's still another.
Are the spectators behind that?
Right, so the spectators
Oh.
are behind it. So there's bleachers for spectating, which are right behind the pit crew, which is fun. And that's where the VIP was, also behind there. So that was really nice because we were invited and we didn't have to deal with all the sunshine.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay.
where people were sitting, it was a sunny day. It was a gorgeous day, actually, rather hot. And people were hot. So, in fact, I somehow managed still to get a little sun, on my face and on my chest. And I thought, God, how do I I put the SPF on and everything, but you're there all day.
Yeah.
You're there all day. You're walking around.
yeah.
There's food, and then there's cars, and of course, like Cadillac and all these. They have these tents, and you go up and you get your free T-shirt and all this little swag they give you and stuff, and so you come home with fun stuff.
Are you into cars at all?
No,
Not at all.
No.
Do you have a dream car? Do you have a wish list car?
I have a dream car.
What is that?
It's a Jeep Wrangler.
A Jeep.
Yeah.
I always thought I'd like a Jeep too.
Yeah.
But you want the girly Jeep with the pink eyelashes?
No,
No,
I
you
beg
don't
your
want that?
pardon. No.
Why beg my pardon?
No, I want the bad
You want a bad boy Jeep?
Jeep. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
With a-
I mean,
you
not like
smoke a cigar and get a big dog. That's what I want.
Maybe.
That's what I want to do.
I've always wanted a Jeep Wrangler, and I guess living in Florida, especially like days maybe like today, or maybe a little sunnier, but you put your hat on, your ponytail,
absolutely.
and you jump in your Jeep
Yeah.
and you go and run your errands.
I think
and
you're right, yeah.
I don't want it as a main car. I just kind of want
okay,
one. And I've
okay.
never been in a stage in my life where it was really practical. Being in college, driving a UF, not really practical. Owning my own business, not
Yeah,
real practical.
yeah.
Having a newborn, not real practical. So I think I'm coming into a place where I could have one as a second vehicle, and it would be practical and fun.
So I had the closest thing I've ever had to a Jeep when
Okay.
I had a not a tracker, but what was it called? What was my car called again? It was one of those trackers,
Oh yeah, like a Geo.
What the heck was it called again? I can't remember. What it was
Well, I
called.
had a Suzuki Samurai once.
Yeah, mine was a Suzuki
which
something.
was as close to a Jeep as I've ever gotten.
But anyway, so I was in the mountains with my son. We were in
Okay.
the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it was a beautiful day, and we had the top completely off, and I said, it doesn't get any better than this.
See?
And then two guys on these fat-wheeled motorcycles went by past us, and I said, that might be a little better.
Maybe for you, not for me.
No?
I think a Jeep would be as good as it would get for me. So if
That is
anyone
pretty
out
good.
there has a Jeep and they want to like gift it to me or will it to me,
What are
or
your thoughts?
I need a Jeep sponsor.
Oh, I have a real question for somebody who grew up in Florida.
Okay.
And driving. The talk now is to completely eliminate driving on the beach in Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about that? Do you hope that happens, or do you say, gosh, I wish we could go back to the days when we could drive the whole, because you can't drive the whole beach
No,
now.
you can't. If you would have asked me maybe 10 or 12 years ago, I would have said I love the idea of driving onto the beach. Now, if you ask me as a parent with a little one,
That's exactly.
I would
yeah.
love for that to not be a thing.
Yeah,
Because there is a convenience of parking your car and having your cooler in your trunk, and all your stuff's kind of right there. You can lay out beside your car and
Yeah,
have your music playing.
yes, yeah.
And I get that that's kind of fun and it's really convenient. But at the same time, when you're a parent and you go to the beach,
And you've heard
got
horror
a
stories.
9-year-old who's, dashing back and forth from the water to mom for a sandwich, and you're constantly worrying, is some kid on their phone texting, not going to pay attention,
Yeah.
or, there is a lot of showboating, people in their car like, oh, look at me, I'm, I'm,
Well, that's what it's about.
I'm ghost riding my car down the beach and I'm not even in it. And so it's very dangerous. And so if you ask me today what you did, I would say no. I think we
Which I
should
did,
we should
exactly
park
right.
elsewhere and lug all of our coolers and stuff to the beach, and then be able to really relax and not have any fears of those types of accidents.
Absolutely.
So-
it does make all the difference in the
Yeah.
world. And you've heard horror stories of people who went to the beach
I have.
and died because somebody ran over them
Right.
while they were sunbathing, just
Yes.
laying there, not even in the line
Absolutely.
of the traffic.
It can
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if we can avoid it, so people can go to the beach and feel safe, I think that's a good thing. Sure, why not?
So are you okay with that?
I'm okay with
Robin
that.
just texted me, by the way. My car was called a sidekick. I don't know how.
sidekick.
I don't know how. I don't know how I forgot that.
No, I think that I think it's great. Is that so? Is that a law? Is that something that's happening with politics? Is that
Yeah. Well, at least the main stretch right there.
Okay.
I guess.
I hadn't heard
north of the boardwalk.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
And speaking of politics, how was your Super Tuesday? Did you get out and vote?
I voted last Friday. I did
Okay.
early voting. Did
it
you?
early voting? Yes,
Yeah.
I absolutely did. I did it in the morning, so I knew that I wouldn't get distracted.
What is striking you about this election? I won't ask you who you voted for,
Sure.
but I mean, what is striking you about this whole thing? What is?
Well, one thing I can say is people are very passionate, which I think is probably always the case. But for some reason, and maybe it's just because this only happens every 4 years, and so at 37 now, there was several points in my life where I guess I just didn't care. And now, of course, I care. I care a lot
That's
more.
honest, and that's probably
Right.
true for most of us.
Right. So,
Yeah,
so I care. I care a lot more. And so I'm just noticing things more, and I'm spending a lot more time researching and watching debates. And, Facebook in the last few days, ever since Tuesday, has just kind of gotten really
crazy with Trump stuff.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, I've never been challenged, and trust me, I've been challenged, but someone will ask a question and you'll answer honestly, and then it's just like you
get trapped into that.
You totally get suffocated with questions of why in the world and who in the world, and you're an idiot for voting the way that you did, or for being a Republican or whatever it might be. And I mean, I'm a Republican. I'm proud to say that. I don't try to hide the fact that I am a Republican, and I have my reasons for being so. And I wouldn't challenge someone who's not a Republican or want to sit and argue and debate with that person as to why they voted the way they did. Now, if it's an intelligent conversation to try to learn about other candidates, why are you so passionate about, your particular candidate? I think those are very good conversations to have. But when someone just is insulting you left and right, that's when you just have to bow out. And I've really had to bow out on Facebook because, quite frankly, it's not worth it. Everyone has their right to cast their one vote, and
you have a public part of your life, and with the magazine, with the radio, and other things that you do that are public. And Facebook is a public presence, especially for somebody like yourself.
Sure.
And so I always there are a couple of people who've been very famous who I always think, okay, maybe I'll follow their lead. And the two I'm thinking of, Elvis Presley, Johnny Carson, and maybe Frank Sinatra. I think those three guys all said at one point when they were asked who they were voting for, that's none of your business.
Right.
and Elvis said, you know what, I'm in the business to entertain people. I'm not
Sure.
and Johnny Carson said, I challenge anybody to tell me what my party affiliation is, because
Sure.
that wasn't what he was doing. He was
Sure.
entertaining. Yeah, so.
Right. Well, I think being in the media, part of our job is to start dialogues about things, because you want your community to be
Right.
discussing certain events and certain topics, and so I think that's part of our job. But at the same time, I do understand, and I learned this very much in our last local election, was people can completely they cannot. They can't separate you, the person, from you, the media person. And so, Kelly, the person, has the freedom of speech and the right to support the candidates I do and to feel the way I do and have the opinions I do. But there are people that, if I start being very public about those opinions, will almost, I don't want to say take it out on Ocala Magazine, but they can, and they will.
Absolutely.
And I learned that even prior to working there, when I owned my own business. If you are advocating for a candidate and someone is very
Right.
passionate
Yeah.
in the other direction, they will sincerely not do
No
business
campaign
with
signs
you.
in the front of the florist shop.
Absolutely
Yeah, yeah,
not. And we do the same thing at Ocala Magazine. And although we, as a family there, have very diverse beliefs on things, and we will in-house discuss things, as an entity, we don't endorse any one person unless they want to pay for, a political ad inside of our
And that's
magazine.
not endorsing. That's business.
That's paid for.
That's business.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. So,
Do you know what? I've always said this, that there are people who I admire greatly who disagree completely with me.
sure.
And so I admire them greatly, not just because I'm related to them, in some cases I am, but because they're super smart.
Right.
And I say, wow, that is a super smart person, and yet we don't see eye to eye on this candidate or on this
Right.
social principle,
Right.
So what am I missing? If they're smart and they see it, maybe I'm the one who's wrong.
Right.
And then I hope that they think the same thing about me.
Right.
If you and I had a discussion off the air where we could talk about candidates, which I don't want to do on the air, except to say that I like Bernie Sanders, but I would never vote for him.
Sure.
I think he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think his policies would ever be something that would work.
Right.
Because it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked in England.
Sure.
So that's too political. But my thing is this, that when we are smart, we have to respect somebody else's intelligence.
Absolutely.
And say, well, there's got to be maybe a compromise that works for both of us.
Yeah. Well, there's no, and I actually had this discussion on Facebook not too long ago with someone who I highly respect. He's highly intelligent. We went to high school together, and he's a great guy who I admire. And we were really at odds with one another over the fact that, I said you cannot be all in with one candidate. There is not one candidate that I've ever known running for any office that I have agreed with 100%.
That's true.
And he said, no, that's crazy. There's people that vote all the time that 100% agree. And I said, well, then maybe I'm missing something, because I don't even know a person on the planet Earth
Right.
that I agree with
Except Jesus Christ.
100%. Right.
Maybe.
Right. No human person that I can say, everything you think, I am 100%
Right.
in line with you. And I think if we're looking for that candidate that we're 100% in agreement with, we're not going to find them, or else we're just really easy to manipulate.
Right, right.
Maybe I'm just too headstrong to agree with any one person in totality. But you have to just listen, and you have to pay attention, and then make your most informed vote, which is what I did. And I feel confident about my vote, and in the end you have to just see how it weighs out, and then say, okay, well, this is our person in charge. I was going to say man in charge, but it may or may not be at that point. So, and you have to just say, okay, I respect this person in charge.
Have you ever known anybody who lived in a building that had a doorman?
Oh,
Where nobody could get through the door unless the doorman allowed them to get through the door?
I don't think that I have.
No, okay.
Gated communities, yes, but a doorman,
Oh
no.
yeah. It's a little different, a
Right.
little bit easier. But okay, but let's say in America everybody had their own personal doorman.
Okay.
Okay. And in other words, you never answer your door. You have a doorman. That's his job.
Okay.
Okay, so in your house, you and Lily hear the doorbell ring, and then John goes to answer the door.
Okay.
All right. Now, what kind of traits do you want John to have? What do you want John to be like? That's how I pick my president.
Sure.
I want the guy who's going to be very careful who he lets through that door.
And that's a good, I mean, that's a good criterion to kind of base things on. I know Linda Marks and I were talking about politics and, you know, what she looks for, because being a president is an administrative job. And she says that what she looks for is someone who will be a good administrator. And not all of our candidates have been in administrative positions. And so it's very important to her that she finds somebody and then she bases her vote on someone.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has their thing. I think everyone has their little checklist and their criterion, and I don't think you're ever going to find one person that's just, you're going to be like, oh my God, they're just everything. They're just perfect in every way. We're still humans. I mean, these are candidates, but they're human people.
Yeah.
And they're going to have their ways about them and their mannerisms. And I just think that, you know, when it gets to a place where we're talking about, you know, the way their hair looks or something, we've kind of missed the mark.
We've
kind of missed the mark.
That's crazy talk. We have a government set up by some really smart people, you know, way before we were born.
Right.
And so the president presides, which is why he's the president, presides over that government, but he is not the government.
Right.
The government is those people in that building called the Capitol.
Right.
That's the real government.
Right.
And he presides over that. So you need somebody who can preside really well. You need a good doorman.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
All right, we'll take a little break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
All right.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy for Friday with a shower or thunderstorm in the area in the afternoon. High 82 to 86. Mostly cloudy Friday night with lows in the 60s. For Saturday, variable cloudiness along with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. High 81 to 85. Palm Sunday will start out with clouds and a shower or thunderstorm, then turn partly sunny, breezy, and cooler with highs holding in the 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
All right, 24 minutes after 10 o'clock. It's the one conversation I never thought I'd have with you, Kelly.
Politics.
Politics. Ocala Magazine is who Kelli Hart is representing, of course. This is Ocala Magazine Radio. You use your maiden name and you call it your middle name or your maiden name? Fuquay. Somebody,
Fuquay.
you know
My
who
maiden
asked me
name.
about? Jim George was asking me. I guess he knew your mom and dad.
Yeah.
I guess years ago.
Yeah.
Is your dad still in business with the sawmill?
He sure is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, I just use that name because it's more familiar. I mean, first of all, it's still my heritage.
saying it
and it's
right?
my- Fuquay.
Fuquay. Okay.
Fuquay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I just use it because, we're here from Ocala. My family's
That almost sounds like a French name,
from
doesn't
Ocala.
it?
It is a French name.
Oh, it is a French name.
It is a French name. My earphones are trying to get away from me. So that's why I use it. And of course, I kept my married name even after my divorce because
Mm-hmm.
it's my married name. So legally it's my name. And it's my daughter's last name.
Right,
and
right,
I
right.
prefer to have that same last name until something changes. So that's that.
Then we won't know what to call you.
Then you won't know what to
That's
call
the one.
me.
That's the one. That's the one unfair thing society does to women.
I know.
Is we give you this name change that you have to.
Well, we don't have to do it. We've just opted
Yeah,
to because I
that's
think
true.
traditionally it's been the way. But there are some men that take the woman's name, and there's some women that don't change the name, and then there's some that hyphenate both the man and the women's
John
last
Ono
name.
Lennon, remember that?
Yeah, see, you can do whatever you want to. No one can tell you otherwise. I just am a pretty traditional person, and obviously took.
So did
my
you do
ex-husband's name.
anything green yesterday?
I didn't do a single green thing.
No?
No. In fact, other than working, last night we had our final rehearsals for the Vagina Monologues, which is tonight. So it is going to be so. It's going to be so exciting.
And you're a character in the play?
I am a character.
What is your character name?
Well, I'm doing the angry vagina. Which, yeah, I know. Everyone I've told is just they
That's
kind of give me
funny.
that same reaction. I know. So
So can you give us a sample of what
I
you
get
say?
to be. No, I cannot. I can't.
Do you
We've been-
read it or do you have it all memorized?
So we read it. We have cards.
Okay.
So it's been read. It traditionally read off the cards. But we're all very familiar
What's
with
wrong
our
with
cards.
her? Why is she angry?
Well, women can get angry because we're kind of fed up with some of the things that go on down there, and some of the things that we're subjected to as women
Can you
that a lot
imagine
of
the
people
angry-
don't think about all the time.
The angry penis? Can you imagine what that guy would be saying?
I would love to hear that. I would. I really would. I really wish someone would take the monologues and translate them over into.
So how many characters
something
are there?
penal.
How many characters are there?
Oh gosh, I would say that there's probably
How did you become the angry one?
20 or something. Well, I mean, when I first got asked to do this, I started reading through
Who,
them.
Chad invited you to do it?
Well, Pamela actually asked me originally to do it. And so when I started looking through the script to see if this was something I could even do, not that I would want to do, because I knew the cause was great. Pace Center for Girls, it was a great cause. But can I do this? Can I actually do this and make these people proud? So I started looking through them, and for some reason that one really stood out to me, mainly because I was like, yeah, I get that. And I get that too. And although I might not be as angry as the woman who originally did this interview and was really angry, I thought I can do that.
Can we spread a rumor? Can you help me spread a rumor?
Okay.
I want to spread a rumor.
Okay.
I want people to start saying that, Kelly is the angry vagina in the vagina monologue.
Okay.
And if she's sick, her understudy is Larry Whitler.
Okay.
So if they're going to be praying that you don't get sick.
There you go.
Would that be a horrible thing?
Yeah, if something happens
If I
to
got
me
that
between
call-
now and 7:30 tonight.
If I got that call, Larry, Kelly can't make it. Oh gosh, okay, let me put my shoes on.
That's all you need. That's all you need is put your shoes on and show up at the Riley. And I need everybody to show up at the Riley tonight. Today's
fun.
payday, so there's no excuses.
Today's
So
payday.
take some of your paycheck and get yourself a ticket. It's going to be phenomenal. The cast is phenomenal.
Is there music?
We've worked hard. No, there's no music. It is just us. It is us women, our voices, our expressions. We did the walkthrough last night, and I really listened to everybody do their parts, and it's just so amazing how everybody is just so.
It's funny?
There are some funny parts. There are some heart-wrenching parts. There's some very sentimental parts. And anybody that goes they will leave there happy that they went. If you don't go, you're really missing out. Number one, you're missing out on seeing me do something way outside of my comfort zone. And you're also missing an opportunity to support the Riley and support Pace Center for Girls.
That's
So
good.
don't let Friday night
Can you
pass
name any
by.
of the other actresses?
So Pam is a part of the show, which is really fun because she has an accent. So you'll get to see Pam have her accent. Angie Lewis is one of the moderators. Barbara Feitos has one of probably my most favorite monologues after
Really?
hearing her
Really?
last night. Yeah, it's a cast. It's amazing. Chad has worked his behind off, pulling all of us.
Is he
busy
an understudy
ladies
too? He should be an
together.
understudy.
He should.
I think so.
Yeah. So please come out and see us tonight. It's a great cause, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And then, of course, like Ocala Magazine on Facebook and read this month's issue at ocalamagazine.com.
Thank you, Kelly. That was fun.
Thank
We'll
you,
be right
Larry.
back.
Ocala, babe.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. An American ISIS defector, Mohammed Jamal Hoyas, revealing details of his time with the militant group, telling Kurdish TV he realized he didn't agree with their ideology.
That's when I decided I needed to escape.